get into trouble, baby.
Quiet on the set.
Okay, rolling. Hi everybody. Greetings from Latoka, Fiji. This is Dois and Lauri and Ginger sitting out the cyclone season here in Fiji. One of the problems of sailing around both Central America, Mexico, Central America, and the South Pacific is the seasons. The hurricane season in the Northern Hemisphere, the cyclone season in the Southern Hemisphere. But it requires us to sit out sometimes as much as 6 months of the year waiting out these hurricanes. We're doing the same here. Last year we spent a number of months up in the Marshall Islands in the Northern Hemisphere, and then we sailed back down here to Fiji. Staying here in Fiji was, we were persuaded by the engineered bay at Vunda. And Vunda is a special marina that's really inexpensive for what it is. We were surprised after seeing all the expensive marinas in Polynesia, even Mexico, that not only do they have cheap rent for moorings, they also have a full-service yard, restaurants, stores. I mean, the quality of life here in Vunda is pretty ritzy for the price.
So another good reason to be here is the people. The people have been incredible. We have people here that are unusual and fun. The yard manager, a guy that's he's an Italian who he's gruff and means business, and he takes care of his yard with an iron stick. And yet there was an abandoned baby goat that one of the boaters picked up. Had it on. He had a boat goat for a couple of days, and Timo said he adopted it for his children, but he ran around with a baby bottle in the back of his shorts, and this little baby goat followed him everywhere. It was just adorable. So yes, he got it for his kids, but he's the mama. It's just as sweet as can be.
As you wander out, people on the street all around you hear the shuffling of feet. I've been clocking in and I've been clocking out. I know counting steps from the station to your house. Take you out tonight, you said you would try.
Hi everybody, been asked why we're here during hurricane season, so we thought we'd give you our best answer as to why we're here. And it's a designed hurricane hole, so it's engineered to be as safe as we could make it. So here's how it works. The idea is the narrow entrance prevents big waves from coming in. It's low tide now, so you can see the reef out there. And then they also put a wave deflector, which is 2 rows of giant tractor tires across that entrance to keep any breaking waves out. But the swell can still come in. So the next level is that the basin opens up to be twice as wide as the entrance, so to take the energy out of the waves. And all the sides are angled so that the energy of the waves can come up on those sides and be relieved before it gets in here to the main basin. There's also a deflection area here where the waves come in off of this side and move over here into this deflection basin. All these boats are removed if there was a storm, and so more waves would spend their energy over here. And then in the main basin, what energy still goes out in here, it dissipates even more because of its wider profile. And that's where all the boats are tied up and secured to that middle buoy. Now we're over here where Ashika is moored, and let me show you how she's tied up. There are 5 lines running onto the stern of the boat, and here's how they're secured. This is a rail that is a 6-foot rail that's been pounded into the ground, and then we're chained up to it. So the chain prevents the rope from chafing, and then it runs to the boat. This is the one. This is the port side line. This chain here is a guide line for 2 crossed lines that hold the boat left and port and starboard, so it keeps it in the slip. Over here we have a line that comes straight off the back of the boat. This is what our stern anchor line here, and it runs to this tree, and so this is perfectly legal to do that. And we need these lines above the sidewalk because if we get a storm, the storm surge can exceed 15 feet. This is low tide right now. High tide comes all the way up to the wet mark, and in that case we add 15 feet to that, and you can see that all the boats would rise and potentially even come over the top of that barrier out there. In the bow we have 2 more lines that are also tied to the deadmen, those rails pounded into the earth, and then with a anchor line is run all the way out to that red buoy, where below that there's a 35,000-pound anchor, and it's got a circular hoop on it, and all of these boats run their anchor lines to it, and then we have directional pulls for everybody's bow to be pulled away. All the boats are pulled in a storm condition. All the boats are pulled forward, so the circle gets tighter, and these boats tend to want to get close to each other. So we have to have a lot of fenders, and the fenders have to be tied under the boat to the other side so that storm winds won't blow the fenders up and allow the boats to crash together. The other problem is these rigs in 100-knot gusts, these masts will all hit. So we have to stagger them so the masts aren't next to each other and the rigging doesn't tangle. Right now Ashika has all of her canvas, but in actual storm conditions all the canvas and all the sails are removed to reduce windage. So that's how she's tied up here.
One crane inside for wayward wind.
Yeah, 1 crane for wayward wind, and if we can come to the office and pay later for the $100 to access.
Roger, copy, informing.
Then after job.
See you later, alligator!
As you wander out, people on the street all around you hear the shuffling of feet. I've been clocking in and I've I've been clocking out, and I'm counting steps from the station to your house. Take you out tonight, you said you would try. There's a little place I know you will like. There is nothing the world cannot see, and there's nowhere that I'd rather be. Everywhere I go, the people that I meet look the same as me. They're walking in their sleep. Every Friday night we give it all away. Just the simple life, we work away the days. Have you seen the film that's on at the vow? I still call it that. It's better than now. There is nothing the world cannot see, and there's nowhere that I'd rather be. So come out tonight. There is nothing the world cannot see, and there's nowhere that I'd rather be. So come out tonight, come out, come out. You said you would try. Come out, you said you would try. Won't you come out tonight? You said you would come out, you said you would try. So come out tonight.
Yeah, we're in the last month of our time here in Fiji, but we were able to haul the boat out in the yard here, repaint the bottom, replace the cutlass bearing, replace the packing gland. All that sounded pretty easy, but it wasn't. And but it was a very good experience overall, and the cheapest we've ever done it. A typical haul out for us in the United States is about $2,000 US, and this haul out and replacing all these things, and
including workers.
we hired labor. We spent a week paying what they call lay days, rent while you're in the yard, and the whole bill came to about $375 US. Now that's just extraordinary. Even though it was that cheap, we worked savagely, like, because we're used to it being so expensive every day, costing so much money that it's in our DNA. So we were working day and night, killing ourselves, and then at the end, $375. We thought, why were we working so hard? But it all got done, and we've worked out the kinks that following that, and so Ashika is just about ready to make her trip to the across the ocean to Vanuatu once we get some new batteries for the boat.
Yeah, so he just, that was a spoiler alert. We are going to Vanuatu, which means that it looks like we're going to try to go around the world. It was one of those decisions that we've had in front of us through this whole journey, but I don't think either one of us knew if we had enough money, and I certainly didn't know if we had enough guts, and I still don't think we have enough either.
Probably not. It looked very doubtful. We were just worried about getting home last year because we got beat up badly as we sailed from Samoa to the Marshall Islands, and we limped into there, and most of you know we were just destroyed. Our engine was broken, our transmission was broken, the boat was broken, and we just
spirits were a little
our
crushed.
spirits were broken, and our lovely friends, our lifetime friends, and others came to our rescue and sent us money, provided help. If it wasn't for them, I think
We'd still be there.
We'd still be there trying to put
No
it all
doubt
together.
in my mind.
But it renewed our hope and renewed our spirit, and we fixed a lot of things. So we think instead of just meandering around the Pacific, meandering around the world, we'll actually sail around the world. And but we'll still take a while to do it.
So it won't be by accident.
Yeah. So we think that's good anyway. We could still sail to Indonesia and turn back and sail to Japan and back across the North Pacific. But
yeah,
right now,
that's the pull-out plan.
that's
Plan
the
B.
last. That's our last option for easterly return. More likely, though, is we'll continue to sail downwind. It's a lot more fun to sail downwind, and in that
we
case,
get to see Indonesia,
yeah.
Thailand, Malaysia, Bali, Borneo. I mean, I'm not positive Borneo's in our future. We might have to sail past it, but I believe that Raja Ampat is in our future, which is the diving capital of the world. So, yeah, you can be envious now.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
But they'd probably not be envious. We have to make the long trek across the Pirate Alley in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, that you don't need to be envious about that.
Yeah, and then around the south, Cape of Good Hope, south of Africa. And so all of that sounds like a lot of miles and a lot of sailing, and we hope we can keep it going. So those are our plans.
Stay tuned. And in the meantime, peace.
As they say here in Fiji, Sodatali. See you later.
Good job.
Now, that's just extraordinary.